Before we get into the actual topic of this video, I just wanted to point out something really cool that I noticed while watching Netflix's Dark. The actor who played Ulrich Nielsen looks a lot like Mads Mikkelsen. Just look at this picture. They could have been brothers, maybe even twins. And I think that the writers either noticed this when they cast Oliver Masuki or cast him because they are big fans of Mads Mikkelsen. So much so that they ended up naming his brother in the show Mads, his son Mikael, and his last name Nielsen. Mads Mikael Nielsen. Mads Mikkelsen. This is way too much of a coincidence for it not to have been done on purpose. It was something really cool I noticed and I wanted to share it with all of you. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the actual video. The story of Adam and Eve, the first man and woman. I'm sure most of you have heard this story before. Adam and Eve are the central belief that humanity is in essence a single family, where everyone descended from a single pair of ancestors. And after watching Netflix's Dark, there are many parallels that can be taken between Dark's story of Jonas and Martha and the Bible's story of Adam and Eve. In this video, we're going to be talking about how Jonas's and Martha's story from Dark was inspired by and directly parallels the Bible story of Adam and Eve. Now, as a warning, this video will contain lots of spoilers, so if you haven't watched Dark yet, please click away. It's a show worth watching without knowing anything going in. You've been warned. I also wanted to make sure that you know that I make videos about movies, TV shows, and the film industry every week, and if you want to stay up to date on more great content, make sure to subscribe to Filmstack. It helps the channel out a lot. Okay, cue the intro. Netflix's Dark has many parallels to the Bible story of Adam and Eve. I would even go on to say that Netflix's Dark is its own version of the story of Adam and Eve. There's a ton of imagery and symbolism related to Adam and Eve in Dark, from the names that Jonas and Martha take on in their later years to the paintings that they repeatedly stare at during the show. There is a ton of imagery. But just naming someone Adam and Eve doesn't really tell the whole story. There's a lot to decipher. The story of Adam and Eve in the Bible has many different themes. The most obvious one being that humanity is all one big family that descends from a single pair of ancestors. This is in direct parallel to the story of Dark. In Dark, throughout the entirety of the show, we learn how every single person is connected, how the entire family tree is a knot that seems to point back to Jonas and Martha. Without Jonas and Martha, most of the characters in the story would not come to exist because Jonas and Martha are the reason for this infinite cycle where a big part of it is the ability to travel through time. Almost everyone in the show is somehow created as a result of someone else time traveling and influencing the events which lead to the characters existing and being who they are. But this is just one of the ways that Dark's story is similar to the Bible story of Adam and Eve. In the Bible, the story of Adam and Eve isn't just about how we have two common ancestors that we all descend from. It's a story about the fall, or more specifically, the fall of man. A story of how sin came into this world, how we gain the knowledge of good and evil by getting a taste of the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. How despite God's direct instructions were to avoid that single tree, humans are the reason for this endless cycle of sin that we live in. In Dark, we have Tannhaus, who by a stroke of misfortune became the creator and created two worlds that were parallel and opposite. One world where the main protagonist is Jonas, who was created as a result of time travel, a being that through some flaw in the fabric of the universe that allowed humans to travel through time was created and lives in this endless cycle of being born Jonas and becoming Adam. The other world is a world without Jonas, a world whose main protagonist is Martha, who later becomes Eve. Together, they go on to create the origin by having a taste of the forbidden fruit, or in this show, making love, despite knowing they shouldn't since they belong to two separate worlds. This action resulted in the creation of their son, the Origin, who in Dark is shown as the same human in three stages of life: a child, an adult, and an elder. While watching the show, I was a bit confused as to why they referred to Jonas's and Martha's son as the Origin, but as I looked into it more and more, everything began to make a lot of sense. Whenever we see the two family trees in Dark, the one from Jonas's world and the one from Martha's world, they are connected in the middle by the Origin, which is represented as the infinity symbol. The Origin is the reason why these two worlds are stuck in an infinitely repeating cycle. Similarly to the Bible story of Adam and Eve, where having a taste of the forbidden fruit started the infinitely repeating cycle of sin for humanity, the Origin is both the direct and indirect reason for the repeating cycle of pain experienced by many of the show's characters. Martha and Jonas's son travels through time and directly influences many of the events that result in the world being stuck in a repeating cycle. Many times in the show, it is seen as him killing certain people that are likely to get in the way of this time loop. But there's also an indirect reason why the origin causes this repeating cycle, and that is Eve's love for her own son. Eve doesn't want the cycle to end because she loves her son, and the result of the cycle ending would be the origin ceasing to exist. She, along with many of her followers, are continuously fighting to keep the cycle going. In the Bible, after Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, God cursed the man to a lifetime of hard labor followed by death, and the woman to the pain of childbirth and to subordination to her husband. In Dark, Adam is shown to always be working on trying to untie the knot and end the cycle he and all the characters are in. He wants to bring everyone into paradise, but seems to be failing over and over again. So much so that his failures take a toll on him both mentally and physically, and we see his appearance change drastically from when he was Jonas to when he became the scarred Adam. This directly correlates to the Bible and how God cursed man to a lifetime of hard labor. Also in the show, Eve is in a continuous cycle of giving birth and not only experiencing the pain from giving birth, but knowing that there is someone in another world who is trying very hard to destroy everything, her child included. This directly parallels the curse for women to experience the pain of childbirth and the subordination to her husband, or in this case, Adam. Dark is an amazing show. Definitely one of my favorite shows of all time because I feel like I can keep digging and finding new interesting things. It's extremely well thought out and there is a ton of symbology in it. I have one more video planned for Dark that's coming out next week, which will be about time travel and how they did it so well. But if you guys have any other ideas for videos related to Dark, please let me know. I'd be happy to make more. But that's all I have for you this time. If you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot and we're getting really close to 100 subscribers, which is very exciting. But anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a good one.